Everybody keep enjoying their meal, but we're going to get this started, okay? But first of all, nobody said it, but welcome to Founders Day 23. Thank you guys for being here tonight. We want to thank our Harley undergrad group for helping us put this together, put the room together. Our alumni that have been helping, a big shout out to Devin, the president, and Nathan Bylander, the counselor, and everyone that's really just helped all of us get this together. It's a lot of work, and we're in a new location, and everything's kind of new to us, so we hope you're enjoying yourself. I want to thank and welcome a couple special guests that we have here tonight. Without their support, especially their on-campus support, we really wouldn't be able to do what we do. Our undergraduates are really, really appreciative of them. So first we have Dr. Rebecca Bach-Knudsen. She's the Dean of the SDSU Honors College, and she's also our faculty fellow. Next is Dr. Florencio Valanta. He's the Multicultural Latino Retention Advisor here at SDSU. And he's been coaching us as the programming mentor for the past year or so. So thank you, Dr. Flo, for being here. And then we have Matt Beck with us, our district governor from District 17. He's our resident volunteer that oversees SigEp chapters and the volunteers in Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Wisconsin. So we're very happy to have him here tonight. We want to thank all the lovely partners and girlfriends and boyfriends and husbands and wives in the room tonight. So without your support, we really cannot do this. It takes a lot for you to take a weekend away from everything that you guys do and letting us take weekends away to give our time and our treasure and everything that we do for the fraternity. For our young friends and attendants, we appreciate you supporting the fraternity and we really owe a lot to our spouses and partners. So we thank you for joining us as well. So before we go around presentations, we've had a busy year. I just want to reflect on the week we've had. We've had a hell of a week at South Dakota Alpha. Last week we went to Chicago and attended Carlson Leadership Academy. Like we do every year, the executive board went, the counselor Passion took them the 10-hour trip out there one way to attend leadership workshops, recruitment workshops, programming and balanced man program workshops to really just come back and be a better chapter, right? So everything we do, everything we continue to do, we do because we need to get better. We want to be the best organization on campus. We were recognized last week for a few really fun things, and fun really kind of downplays what this is. This is really years of hard work, and especially the last 12 months of hard work. One award that we took last week was for our Alumni Volunteer Corporation, the work that they've done in operations and budgeting and everything chapter related, fundraising and all that sort of stuff. So last week we were awarded the ABC Operational Excellence Award at CLA. You'll see that we were among a few other chapters there, but South Dakota ABC took that. So give them a round of applause for that. I can't see them, so I have no idea what slide is next, but I do think that, I do believe the next slide is for our brother Nathan Bylander. So as everybody knows, Nathan is really the backbone of this organization since his time as an undergrad up through what he does now for us. There truly is usually one person or a group of folks that help the chapters thrive here, anywhere. My favorite quote is from our brother Phil Cox from Indiana that says, behind every great chapter is a group of dedicated volunteers. Nathan has been that, among others, but Nathan has truly been that. And last week he was finally honored for that nationally as the District 17 Volunteer of the Year. Woo! We've got a brother amongst us right now that is kicking ass.
Go Nate.
By him too. The Zollinger Outstanding Senior Award is presented to kind of the best and the most elite seniors in our SigEp chapters throughout the country. They do not give this award out to just anyone. It takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of service to your fraternity and to your academics and to your local community and to your university community. And last week, Brother Alec Bomer was honored as a Zollinger Outstanding Senior. in Chicago, I tell you. Well, we're going to talk about this guy a lot tonight, and we've heard his name a lot, and I'm sure he hates it because he's a very humble guy, but I'll just briefly show you quickly. If you haven't got your Mike Hart sticker, it's for a reason, because we're honoring one of our true legends of volunteerism tonight in Mike Hart. So last week he was honored with an award that less than 1% of all SigEp members have. So in the entire world, less than 1% of SigEp members are distinguished alumnus. So Mike Hart got it on me, and got the award last week, so congratulations to him. So these awards are great. We've worked very hard for them. All of you individuals have worked very hard for them. But there really is one award that matters the most to all of us, and that's the Buchanan Cup. This chapter has worked very, very hard. It worked 21 years to receive its first Buchanan Cup. We were awarded our second one last summer at Conclave. Everything that we do is to make our young men better. Everything we do is to be the best organization on campus, not just the best Greek organization, but truly the best student organization on our campus and on campuses across the country. And chapters that exceed that and do just that are honored with this Buchanan Cup Award. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to welcome our brother Devin Schaefer to bring that newest award up. But in the meantime, I do want to show you a quick video. And I did realize that the audio is not running through my computer, so I'm going to see if we can just run a couple of microphones on this and make it work.
Our next Buchanan Cup winning chapter channels the consistent support they get from alumni volunteers into a strong, balanced man program and ritual. They use the BMP app to keep brothers focused on personal growth and members of the Epsilon Challenge learn valuable real-world skills, while brother mentors help set overall goals for the chapter. This chapter makes its presence known on campus through a campus-wide sexual assault awareness week to a strong partnership with Big Brothers Big Sisters. Their marketing of the Balanced Man Scholarship is comprehensive, as they send postcards and emails. Each mail applies to the university. But the chapter makes a huge splash on campus with its SigEp Leadership Academy for all men, where they learn leadership and jumpstart their personal development. This has served as a valuable recruitment tool and clearly embodies SigEp values. For the leadership they provide on their campus and the premier experience they give to their members, we present this Buchanan Cup to South Dakota Health and South Dakota.
So to present the Dakota Cup, I'm going to welcome brother Devin Schaefer to the stage.
Good evening. I have a few words I would like to say about this Buchanan Cup and what it represents to our chapter. This Buchanan Cup represents more than just our past exec board. It represents more than the hard work of the undergrad chapter. It represents more than the foundation of our alumni. It represents all of our legacy of being truly different. I will now present the state of the chapter. Henry Ford once said, "Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success." Today marks our 23rd annual Founders Day, which goes to prove just how connected SD Alpha truly is. In my eyes, this describes what SD Alpha continues to flourish year after year. It is the unbreakable bond between our inspiring undergrads and our insightful alumni. This remarkable undergrad chapter cannot thank our alumni enough for laying down a strong foundation for us to stand on in order to build up our great fraternity. It is easy to say just how great SD Alpha is, but it is more impactful if we look over our accomplishments this year. On a university level, SD Alpha continued to have one of the highest fraternity GPAs. We continued our mission of being different by bringing continued awareness to sexual assault, as well as donating over $500 to the domestic abuse shelter. We continued to improve our leadership of our chapter by adding a new exec board position titled VP of Community Learning, which aims to improve SD Alpha's service leadership in our community. Finally, SD Alpha pushed open the envelope to be leaders in a more diverse and inclusive organization throughout South Dakota State Greek life. SD Alpha has been more than a leader on our campus. We have been a leader in the nation. This year, we had 3 astonishing achievements. First, we showed the development of our brothers by sending 3 members to Rec Leadership Academy, which is the most SD Alpha has ever sent. Second, we had our second ever winner of the Zollinger Senior of the Year Award, which was given to our brother, Alex Bomer. Our most impactful achievement, though, came from our second Buchanan Cup win in a row. This proves to the nation that we aren't just a great fraternity, but rather we are the future of great fraternities. As great as our undergrad chapter is, it is the alumni who shine through this year. At Carlson Leadership Academy, our alumni won 3 highly distinguished awards, including ABC Operational Excellence, Volunteer of the Year, and Distinguished Alumnus, which was awarded to our alumnus and founder, Mike Hart. It is clear that 2019 was the year of the alumni, but I promise you this, 2020 will be the year of the undergrads because of the strong foundation you have left us. I would like to thank all of you for making the journey to come and support this amazing fraternity, but more importantly, our deep connection to each other. I hope you all have an amazing night and truly get to see the work that we have put into the chapter. It is my honor to be your president and brother.
Thank you, man. Well, it's not even 7:15, and I think I almost cried, but we're going to wait and see what the rest of the night has in store. Next, I'd like to welcome Brother Troy Lambert to give our State of the ABC address.
So I had all my prepared notes here. I was going to discuss all of our accomplishments, but obviously they've already been said. So I'm going to recap them. I mean, everyone here had a part in all these accomplishments. All the alumni, all the undergrads. I mean, we have been fantastic. We've always been fantastic, but these last few years we are finally getting the recognition that we deserve at a national, regional level. Congratulations, everyone. But to recap, the one that was not spoken for, and I think is equally as important to start with, is our National Day of Giving. South Dakota Alpha, one of the smallest, youngest chapters in the nation, and we are third. We were third last year in overall members who raised money to the National Day of Giving. Woo! Thank you for getting that all together, Luke. It was all Luke who egged us on Facebook after Facebook post, Twitter post after Twitter post to get us all involved. Thank you, everyone. Also, as mentioned, second Buck Cup. That's a fantastic accomplishment. Two in a row. Let's make it 3. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 5. Let's get that gold Buck Cup here. Woo! Also, as mentioned, our Ruck Leadership Institute, we have sent 3 awesome gentlemen this year. First time that SD Alpha has ever sent more than 1 in a year. Congratulations, gentlemen. And finally, I was one of 10 members, undergrad and alumni, that attended this year's conclave. What a fantastic experience. For those that have not attended that, you need to go to Denver. That's coming up here next year. Mark it on your calendars. I believe it was July 28th The largest congregation that we ever had from SD Alpha went to this past year conclave. It was a fantastic experience. We need to make that 20, 30, 40. Let's make it 50, everyone. And I heard Mike Hart's going to cover the pool tab on that one. And finally, obviously, the awards mean so much. They give us recognition both locally and nationally, but it would not be possible without a fantastic group of individuals on the ABC, and I have to give them recognition. We have Tyler Aldrin, Jeff Lang, Kyle Dvorak, Jake Luters, Andrew True, and Luke Cardona. And as also mentioned, our not yet distinguished alumni, but fantastic counselor, Nathan Bylander. He has been fantastic. He has given a lot for our fraternity, more so these last few years, but we would not be anywhere without him. Thank you, Nate. And finally, I need to thank as well our dedicated Education Foundation for getting us where we are today, both locally and nationally. Great job, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Troy. So speaking of Educational Foundation, in my opinion, the hardest working fundraising group in our district, in our region, I'm going to welcome brother, I'm looking for him, Jeremy Braun, to the stage to give the update on the Educational Foundation.
Well, good evening. I would like to start by recognizing the rest of the people that are on the Education Foundation. So if they can stand up, this is for two reasons. I want you to see who they are, and we can clap for them. And I want you to see who they are, so when you want to give money or attend one of our events, you know who to go to. So Mike Hart, Mike Ehlers, Mike Saturnus, who could not be with us tonight, Mike Harstead, Mike's, Tyler Aldrin, and Ryan Howlett. So we have three main initiatives that we've been working on this year. Number one is the Burning Heart Fund, and this is a fund that when people donate to it, we can use it to send people to Carlson, to Conclave, to RUG, to help build leadership. And that is also the one that you can get the commemorative piece of the burning flame and the letters as you donate to that. Our second thing that we work on every summer, we have a golf tournament in honor of Jim Novotny, one of our founding members, a great friend of all of ours who were founders. And last summer, we had it's either our second or third most successful tournament, fundraising wise. And for me, the best part of that tournament was we had, I think it was 8 undergrad members actually come and golf. We'd never had that before. So this next summer, of course, we'd like to top last summer. So if you want to be a team captain, if you just want to golf, if you want to sponsor, if you want to come hang out, do that, see one of us. It's at Spring Creek Golf Club near Harrisburg, South Dakota, and it's on August 1st with the 9 a.m. shotgun start. So the third thing I'd like to talk about is the housing campaign that we've been working on for a very long time. If you have ever given any amount of money to our housing campaign, I would like you to stand up so we can recognize you. So to date, we have raised about $563,000 for the house. Which is a no small feat. We've had somewhere between 50 and 60 donors to raise that amount of money. So the other thing I'd like to talk about there is we've had 4 alumni step up and donate $50,000 that we're going to use as a matching fund. So The next $50,000 from our alumni that are donated will be equally matched. And that will certainly put us over the $650,000 mark, which was our end goal. So we can, get that house built. So see one of us, and I would challenge all the alumni who have not given yet to commit to a pledge of $5,000 over the next 5 years, so we can close this out and have extra to do the things that we want to do with this house. And undergrads, I would like to address you too, because some of you will be graduating. I hear it's like 13 of you this year. And I want you to think of how are you going to stay involved, and how are you going to continue in our atmosphere of giving that we're trying to have here at South Dakota Help Us. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Up next, we're going to honor and recognize some of our outstanding undergraduate members. They are really the foundation of what we do and why we're here. So I'm going to welcome Brother Al Bomer to present some awards.
You're hot. You're hot.
Hi, everybody.
Howdy.
I've got remarks, so I came prepared, so that's pretty good. So if you don't know, I'm Alec Bomer. I'll be your award presenter this evening. Just like the Oscars, we're going to have different presenters for each thing. So that's a very specific Oscars joke, so if you didn't watch the Oscars, that's... Okay. All right, cool. Good. Setting the tone strong. Yeah, thank you. There's a few thank yous before we begin. First, thank you to Luke Cardona for putting this whole thing on. Before we do, for all the thank yous, we're going to do one solitary clap. So I'm going to time it so it's going to be on my mark. Oh, golly. I just wanted it. Oh, there we go. So on 3, we can all clap for Luke Cardona. One solitary clap at the same time, please. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. All right, thank you. That was... See, there's one table that's not doing it. It's that one. I'll point you out early. Thank you so much to all the alumni who have come out tonight. It's really, you're showing us that we have really big shoes to fill. So thank you so much to everyone who came out tonight. We'll give one solitary clap for all the alumni. 3, 2, 1. That was really good. The table in the back didn't make trouble. One more solitary clap for all the partners of SigEp, whether that be honored guests, SigEp sweethearts, whoever you are. I'm so sorry you had to come to this, but I'm really happy to have you. So one solitary clap for everyone who got right to this. 3, 2, 1. All right, that was really good. That's really awesome. I'm just going to launch straight into the awards here, which are all on this back table, so that's actually really nice. So this first award goes to the swollest boy in our fraternity. It's a Sound Body Award. He works out twice a day in the Temple of Games, 6 days a week. He regularly eats healthy and even encourages other people to go work out with him. This is a thing he told me privately, so it's not on the record, but he promised to take his shirt off if he wins, so he definitely has to do that. Sound Body of the Year goes to Bryce Nicholas. Come on. He's not going to do it. It's disappointing. This next award goes to someone with equally strong muscles, but the muscles are in his brain, and it's the Sound Mind Award. This next one goes to someone who pursues his academics with excellence, often being the highest scored for the most hours in the library studying for over the past 4 years. He's consistently excelled at nursing school, focusing on the mental health and sound spirit of the chapter. And if they existed, he would win 2 exceptional awards. One for the most fan fiction written about a certain chemistry professor at SDSU. And one for the strangest encounter with famous actress and heroin addict Lindsay Lohan. He's the only person in SigEp that I've known for longer than I've been in the chapter, and I'm thrilled to give the Sound Mind of the Year award to Dax Weebelhaus. That's not Dax, but it's okay. So here's another fun fact about Dax. I was planning on embarrassing him, but he's not here, but it ties directly into my next thing that I'm going to say, so I'm going to go for it anyway. So Dax's nickname used to be Beaker, after the Muppet, plus he was also in chemistry with me. And there's actually a saying from the Muppets that I quite enjoy, if you'll humor me for a moment. It says, I found a whole group of friends that have the same dream. That sort of makes us like a family. Oh, it's like SigEp. Oh, that's really sweet. While SigEp is one big family, the Family of the Year award goes to a big little pair that exemplifies this brotherly connection. So these three actually get together on a weekly basis to get lunch, talk about life, and most importantly, take care of each other. Whether it's diabetes, military nonsense, or too much adult beverages, these three guys have their back. The Family of the Year award goes to the Andreessen family. Come on up. They're all at the same table. How good. That's good. That's really good. This fall, we tricked, encouraged many people to join our fraternity. And while many of them stood out as leaders and gentlemen, there's one that obviously rises to the top. Like the cream in my coffee, the toaster in my bathtub, or like the sun and the tide, so does this member rise to the occasion. So he joined this fall, becoming the first winner of the Balanced Man Scholarship to join our ranks, and immediately leapt into roles on the Standards Board and Recruitment Committee, and eventually became the Vice President of Recruitment. This man is locally grown, but internationally known. And he couldn't be here tonight because he's in another state doing some work, but the new member of the year goes to my wonderful little Paul Schlope. So, this next one's a pretty special award. It is Balanced Man of the Year. The next person that I have the honor of honoring, if you will, is someone who's very close to me, both physically and emotionally. He's already ashamed. He literally just put his head down. This is going to be really good, though. This brother's a competitive rock climber. He's an active reader and a leader in the chapter. And the list of this adrenaline junkie's outdoor activities goes longer than a pretty big vegan sandwich. But he takes great strides to better himself and the world around him. And even though he won't let me snuggle with him, I genuinely love and respect this brother of ours. He lives with me, he works with me, he can't get enough with me. He's perfectly balanced the way all things should be. The Balanced Man of the Year is London Lambert. Very cute. This next red hot boy is perhaps the most deserving of recognition at tonight's awards. He's never been a recipient of a Founders Day award, yet he has probably done more for this chapter than most people in this room. Instead of listing his many accomplishments and telling you how much this brother means to me and how much he means to all of you, that he's the pinnacle of this fraternity stands for, and I hold him in the highest regard, I'd instead like to read to you some of the things that his brothers wrote about him. One of my favorite brothers is SigEp, who always makes me feel welcome. He has helped lead and model this chapter to where it is today and molded many of the men in the chapter into who they are. He's helped many brothers that were having serious troubles and puts others before himself. He treats every SigEp like blood. He's one of the best. His actions speak louder than any words could. Noah is someone who I look up to in my personal and SigEp life, and he is the model of what every SigEp should be. I, as well as many others in the chapter and community, look up to him as a paragon of SigEp's virtues and an outstanding member of the SDSU Greek community. He inspires me to live better every day, and he deserves nothing less than the highest honors possible for his services to his friends, fraternity, and community. Pride is not the word I look for when I see him, for there is so much more in all of us. The Brother of the Year award goes to Noah Anderson. So next, I'd like to invite up Brother Dyson Thacker to present the President's Award.
Right after the chapter voted on Founders Day Awards about a month ago, Devin asked me if I would pick the winner for this year's President's Award. Traditionally, the President's Award has gone to a member who flies under the radar, a member who is a foundational part of the chapter and whose contributions often go unnoticed. When Devin asked me to pick the winner, it took me about 30 seconds to make my choice. The person I picked frequently signs up to do jobs nobody else wants to do, and he shows up to every single event with a smile on his face. I'm happy to present this year's President's Award to James Lugers.
I think Alec is going to come back.
Yeah, Alec.
I'm back just to introduce somebody else, so don't get too excited. Now I'd like to invite Brother Brian Schneider to present the Novotny Scholarship Award this evening.
It's my honor and privilege tonight to present the winner of the Novotny Scholarship. For those in the room that don't know who Jim Novotny was, he was one of our founding fathers, he was a brother, and he was a friend. Jim dedicated himself to SigEp. To show the love that he had, he kept the receipt from when we mailed off the application package for our charter. Jim put in countless hours, sometimes to the detriment of his studies, working on SigEp, being a true brother, and being a true friend. When people ask me, why are you a member of a fraternity? What does it mean to be a member of a fraternity? I think of my brother Jim, and I think of his last days. Jim was stricken with cancer. He fought a hard battle. He tried a lot of different treatments for it, but in the end, they weren't to be successful. Thanksgiving weekend, Jim's mother called me. He was flying back to Sioux Falls from Minneapolis. He was coming home for the end. I got on the phone, and within 3 hours, we had 20 SigEps in the waiting room of the hospital. His family and the other families up there never spent a moment alone that weekend. We ordered in food, we helped families out with any errands they needed, and there was always a brother by Jim's bedside. Thanksgiving night, I got home for a little bit, and I got a call that things had turned to the worst. I got back up to the hospital. There was about a dozen of us there. We gathered around Jim's bed. We sang the fraternity anthem. We said our Lord's Prayer, and we gave him a hug. Jim passed from this earth to the next, surrounded by the brothers that he loved. That's what it means to be a brother in Sigma Phi Epsilon. That's what it means to me, and that's what we look for in the brother that we award the Novotny Scholarship to. If it's up here.
on the table behind you.
Do we have any previous Novotny Scholarship winners in the room? Stand on the right. These are the brothers that show us what it means to be a true brother and signify Epsilon. And tonight it is my privilege and my honor to add to their roles Brother Matthew Holly.
Let's give everyone a round of applause that won an award tonight and thank them for their service and their dedication to our community. We do have one more alumni award to give out, and I'm going to introduce Brother Matt Beck to present this. And before I bring him up, I just want to once again thank Matt for being here. It is very important to all of us that we see the support outside of our own city, right? So we need people outside of Brookings that are willing to come in, work with us, hand in hand, one-on-one, to continue helping to foster this this group of guys that we have here. Matt's a really great friend of mine, and I appreciate his support and everything that we do. And I hope you get a chance to meet him tonight as an undergrad if you haven't. And if you're an alumnus, please also grab him at some time tonight. So I'm going to introduce Brother Matt Beck.
It's sincerely my pleasure to come here and experience Founders Day 23 and to spend time with my South Dakota Alpha brothers. I think it should go as no surprise when you see all the awards that have been received by South Dakota Alpha in recent years, that you do have something special going on here. And I would call out that the Upper Midwest in general is doing quite well with SigEp. At Conclave in Houston, there were 23 Buchanan Cups awarded. You received one of those 23. There were 3 awarded in my district alone, which makes us quite unusual. There are many districts that got 0 Buchanan Cups. So we're doing really well in the Upper Midwest, and it's a combination of alumni, dedicated alumni working together with really smart, dedicated undergraduates to achieve these objectives. My task at hand is to award the Alumnus of the Year award, which is exciting. I was given the applications or the nominations of each of the 3 people nominated for Alumnus of the Year, and I'd like to read these so that you can understand the level of impact that each of these 3 brothers has made. The first is actually a group of 2 brothers, Brothers Charles and Dan Woodward. I nominate Brothers Charles and Dan Woodward for the 2019 Alumnus of the Year. The Woodward brothers were nominated about 5 or so years ago, not by me, and did not win that year. I believe they are still deserving South Dakota Alpha alumni and have exemplified even more since their first nomination why they should be honored as Alumnus of the Year. Professionally, both brothers have been leaders in their field and are respected professionals within their organizations. Charles progressed his studies following his undergrad at SDSU in nursing to become a certified registered nurse anesthetist and Scott and White Memorial Hospital in Austin, Texas. Dan has been working at Jamf Software in Minneapolis as a top software engineer for the past 5 years, and has spent 4 years prior to that at Cooper Power Systems as an engineer. Professionally, these 2 brothers have achieved a high level of success through their hard work and commitment. Personally, they have wives who support their SigEp endeavors and contributions and are both growing beautiful families and hopefully future SigEps. When the Ed Foundation launched the housing campaign 6+ years ago, the Woodwards were one of the first to commit to the highest giving level of $50,000. Dan is the only SigEp under the age 30 that I've ever met who's committed that much of his personal treasure to the fraternity at such a young age. Their financial commitment to South Dakota Alpha speaks volumes to their overall commitment to the fraternity. Finding ways to make true and lasting impact from afar is always challenging, as the Woodwards were the first to set the example for the rest of us on how this can be done. Aside from their monetary gifts, both Charles and Dan keep in regular contact with their fellow alum brothers of South Dakota Alpha. Dan has attended nearly every Founders Day since he joined SigEp 10 plus years ago, and both brothers text and chat daily with their SigEp brothers to check in on the comings and goings and other happenings of the chapter. I can think of multiple times when Dan has silently stepped up with IT support and or financial contributions to a given SigEp cause. Every time Charles visits the Midwest, he connects in person with his brothers in the area. They have both gone above and beyond what it takes to maintain a strong relationship with SigEp and the brothers of South Dakota Alpha. The professional achievements, the personal support from their spouses, and their overall commitment to SigEp are why I feel strongly that Charles and Dan Woodward deserve to jointly be named the 2019 Alumnus of the Year. Second nomination for Brother Jeff Lang. I would like to respectfully submit Brother Jeff Lang as this year's South Dakota Alpha Alumnus of the Year. Jeff has been instrumental in these past few years planning for the financial success of our residential learning center. Not only has he helped to calculate and craft strategic financial models to secure lending for our future home, he has also carefully considered the long-term financial operation of that house to ensure the future success of SigEp at SDSU. And he's been invaluable to our cause, and I'm proud to call him brother. The third nomination is for my dear friend Luke Cardona. I would like to nominate Brother Luke Cardona for Alumnus of the Year for Founders Day 2020. Luke has been an avid South Dakota Alpha volunteer for many years, serving as VP of Communications since 2015 and most recently as the VP of Relations since Founders Day 2019. Luke also gives his time and talents to help mentor the SigEp chapter at Minnesota Alpha. Along with Nathan Bylander, Troy Lampert, and Matt Beck, Luke coordinated a trip to the SigEp chapter in North Dakota to guide them through a goal-setting retreat and help them leave with an executive board action plan. You all may tirelessly hear from Luke regarding SigEp recognition and outreach. Consider for SigEp Founders Day of Giving, where Luke fostered support from 69 alumni, third in the nation for number of donors, and also unlocked $800 of other charitable gifts to the housing campaign and sexual assault awareness. On social media, you hear from Luke constantly updating you about South Dakota Alpha's ranking during that campaign. This clearly shows what a leader and inspiration Luke is for our chapter. Lastly, Luke constantly works to motivate the ABC and others to support South Dakota Alpha's recruitment effort. He has attended various leadership programs as an alumnus volunteer, leading by example and fostering relationships with the undergraduate chapter members. When putting talk into action, Luke does not ask for permission. He knows what needs to be done, he does it, and he does it well. Thank you for living our cardinal principles each and every day. Virtue is seen in your character and actions, diligence in leading SigEp locally and nationally, and brotherly love in supporting South Dakota Alpha, North Dakota Alpha, and Minnesota Alpha. Luke, you're an inspiration to all of us. Thank you. I'd like to ask for a round of applause for all three. I'm excited to reveal the winner. You're on the edge of your seat, I can tell. And the winner is La La Land. Hold on. That was the wrong envelope. This is the right envelope, I'm sure. The winner is Miss Columbia. That's not the right envelope either. This has to be the right one. It's the only one left. I got it. The winner is Charles and Dan Woodward. Before I leave the stage, I would like to put in a plug. You've heard it a couple times tonight already, but South Dakota Alpha is making a mark on the national fraternity, and the way you're doing it is you're showing up to all the events that we put on for leadership development and to support our undergraduate brothers in their efforts. And so I saw a great presence from both South Dakota Alpha undergraduates as well as alumni at Carlson Leadership Academy. You guys did a great job recognizing Mike when he walked across the stage to get his Distinguished Alumnus Award. Conclave is a very special thing. It is a unique experience bringing together the maximum number of SigEps in one place at one time. I would strongly encourage you to consider putting into your calendar at the end of July. It's July 28th to August 1st, 2021. You got a long time to plan it. It's in Denver, so the location's close to here. It's probably the coolest location we've had Conclave in a long time. A lot of times it's in the deep south in the hottest part of the year. So it'll be a really pleasant experience to be in Denver. Great environment, great networking opportunity for both undergraduates and alumni. So I look forward to seeing you all at Conclave. Anybody who wants to come or anybody who wants to get more information about it, I'm around all weekend and I look forward to talking to you about it. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. We're rolling tonight, and I thought this was going to last 3 hours, so I love it. I'm going to take a minute to talk some more because I have the microphone and I can do whatever I want right now. We're going to introduce the keynote in a few minutes. I'm going to introduce somebody to introduce the keynote. It really is like the Oscars. I'm going to tell you my favorite moment as a volunteer. Really, it's like my SigEp moment as a volunteer. There's been a lot of really good times since I left this university in 2011. But my proudest moment was at Conclave in Houston last summer. We were there, and I was with Brother Lambert and Bylander and Lang and Dvorak and Hart and Wackles. And am I missing anyone, Jeff? I think that's we had a really great representation. So we know that we're all there. We're going to sessions. We're going to volunteer groups, different one-on-ones, all that stuff. And we also know that we have a meeting with SigEp National Housing on Friday afternoon or whatever it is, about 1 o'clock or so. We said, great. I've been talking to SigEp National Housing for no reason for like 5 years, just because I'm there, right? So awesome. We'll pop in and we'll chat real quick. And we don't really think much of it, So Matt, Brother Beck, stops us on Thursday and says, guys, I've been in about 2 of these housing meetings now, and it's the real deal. You've got the entire National Housing Board there. You've got SigEp headquarters staff there. You need to be ready. You need to suit up. You need to have your presentation, any pitches that you need to ask, anything that you want to ask of them. We said, wow, okay. Well, who do you go to that situation besides Brother Hart? so we didn't worry about it because we knew we had Hart with us here in Houston. So we went about our day, went to our sessions, went to our classes, and Friday morning rolls around and nobody can find Hart. Where's Hart at? He missed everything. He missed the breakfast, the ward breakfast, and it's 4 hours later or so, and Hart finally pops out. We're texting him, we're messaging him, and Hart pops out, and he's suited up, he's ready to go. He's got a computer. He's been working on this presentation for our housing committee in Texas here. So we know where he's at. It was great. 1 o'clock hits. Matt meets us. We head into the meeting. Jeff is there. Troy's there. We're all there. Our whole posse from South Dakota is rolling into this meeting, and it's definitely the most intimidating SigEp meeting I've ever had. And these are the National Housing Board. They want to know what's going on. They're really interested in hearing the work our educational foundation has done, and really just the housing plans and the financing plans behind it. So Mike plugs in his computer, and away he goes. Over the next 20 minutes, Mike takes them through slide by slide. He shows them what we've raised, how we've raised it, the blueprints for the house, what they mean, our location, everything you could possibly want to know about our future house. And we don't know when it's coming, right? So he's just giving us exactly what they need to know at the time. So Mike finishes. I hope no one else is supposed to tell the story, but Mike finishes, and Ken Maddox, who's been probably one of the guys that I've been somewhat intimidated of over the past 5 years or so. Every time I've met with Ken Maddox, he's an alumnus out of Oregon, and at the time he was the director of National Housing. Ken Maddox looks at Mike Harvey and says, "Are you a preacher or something?" And Mike politely says, "Only when it comes to South Dakota Alpha." and right there at that moment, it was, man, I mean, you could cry. It was just so impactful, right? Like all the years of work that we've been doing, everything our undergrads were on the floor doing and working at. And Mike just killed his presentation. Jeff had every answer when it came to the financials, down to the dollar, down to everything, every head count that we're going to need, every dollar that we're going to need to raise. Jeff was there, Mike was there. It was a very proud moment for us, and really all we wanted to do was tell all of you guys at the moment, right? But the pool bar was a lot closer than you guys were, so that's where we went. So we left feeling very, very high on ourselves. It was a great meeting. We were just riding, flying high. I'm flying high right now, reminiscing about it, and it made our conclave experience that much better. We really did hit the pool and celebrate the rest of the night, and it was the best night I've ever had with my brothers from South Dakota. And it was just the stars aligned that night, and I think there's something about being off-site, being with your brothers, being at a conclave, winning a buck cup the night before, and just putting everything together. It was truly magical. I encourage you all to come out and experience that. I couldn't thank my brothers enough because it was just the proudest moment I've ever had. So that's the story I wanted to share, and I want to get that out because I do think there's a lot of these little stories that everybody needs to hear. And if you've got one, share it. Find someone tonight, tell them what you've been up to, and talk to each other because we need to know what we're all up to, SigEp-wise, and it's just fun to know. So we're going to get to that keynote. That's probably going to be about an hour long. So I'm going to introduce Brother Michael Harstead. Harstead, come on up here.
So I want to start with a couple of things that we did last weekend. And, we were at Conclave, and it's the first conclave that I've been at since the late 90s. Carlson, sorry, it's a C. I'm older, I forget things. But it was a humbling experience. There was over 800 SigEps there. We really didn't know what we were walking into, and it was a cool deal. And we went there because we knew that Mike Hart was going to receive the Distinguished Alumnus Award. He didn't know. So we kind of played this up for the last few months to figure out a way to make excuses enough to get him there in the first place, and then to be there when it was presented. So I want to share with you a little bit about the award itself. The recipients of SigEp's Distinguished Alumnus and Volunteer Awards were first given in 1978. The people that received these are models for all of us to their devoted and productive service of Sigma Phi Epsilon. Since the award's inception, less than 1% of our national alumni have received this honor. Our distinguished alumni make up the groundswell of support that our young brothers need to live out the balanced man ideal each and every day. They play a vital role in pushing our chapters beyond their perceived limits. They share their time, talents, spend time away from their families, and oftentimes forego other opportunities to serve SigEp. Distinguished alumni are recognized for their service to SigEp at a national level, district, or local level for a minimum of 10 years. They create sustainable and tangible success for the men that they serve and work tirelessly for the betterment of Sigma Phi Epsilon. Tonight's keynote speaker is more than a dear friend of mine. Any of you here, how many of you here were born after 1988? Well, that's when I first met Mike. We are old. We both graduated from Brandon Valley High School. Mike in 92, I in 94. I followed him here to SDSU and eventually to SigEp. There's been a lot of laughs. So sitting with Mike back there is my freshman year roommate, Stu. We came into our dorm room one night, and we used to have answering machines. You guys know what an answering machine is? Cassette tapes in them and stuff?
You can't tell this story.
Yes, I can. So we come back to our dorm room, and the blinky light is going. Hit that. It's my grandmother. And the message is, Michael, I cannot believe that's on your answering machine. like, what? What? Like, hit the button. And to my dismay, there was a voice on the other end that was our outgoing message, and it was Hart. And it says, "Hi, thanks for calling Mike and Stu's room. They can't come to the phone right now because Mike's giving Stu head." I can neither confirm nor deny the validity of that story, but nonetheless, it happened. There's been some tough times too. Brian just talked about the Novaky Scholarship. Jim was a Brandon Valley alumnus, graduated the same year as Mike. We knew Jim long before Jim was at SDSU. And Mike and I were part of the group that sat there with Jim and lived his last moments. So we've seen both ends of the spectrum, and I certainly wouldn't change any of it. I've heard this a couple of times, and apparently the cool kids say it now. But Mike's one of my ride or dies. He absolutely is. I've got a couple of them, and not coincidentally, most of them are sitting in this room tonight. The bonds that we form as men and share throughout our time in SigEp are truly meant to be a lifetime bond. And I certainly hope that you undergrads that are sitting in here, that you can look around at the tables around you and say that, hey, these guys are my ride or dies. So for those of you that don't know, and some of you were at the karaoke jam last night, and you would certainly know, but there's a group of us, you heard when we introduced the Education Foundation. I can assure you your name doesn't have to be Mike to be a part of it, but we will change your name. But there's a group of us, and it's called Mike Cube, and it's Hart and me and Mike Ehlers. We've been doing dumb stuff for years, in excess of 25 years to be exact. And we've drug our wives and kids into it. It's usually good for a lot of laughs. But back in 2010, there was a gathering of Mike Cube, and I think it might have been at Wiley's, I don't remember. And there might have been a picture of her or two around. But we're sitting around and kind of BSing, and Hart just, out of the blue, says, I've been thinking, I think we need to start an education foundation for SigEp. We need to get moving on this housing deal. And we kind of looked at it and went, yeah, all right, let's do it. And that's how it started. And look what it's turned into. So last weekend, Mike Ehlers, Jeremy Braun, Dusty Road, and I hopped in a car on Saturday morning and drove out to the beautiful city of Lombard, Illinois. We knew that Hart was going to get this Distinguished Alumni Award, and we wanted to be there for it. And I wanted to thank Luke one more time. Luke kind of spearheaded the effort to get that done. Luke came to several of us and asked us to write letters of recommendation to pursue that honor for Mike, which we gladly did. So we drove 9 hours, got there just in time to run up to our rooms and throw our suits on. And we got shuttled through a back hallway that reeked of vomit, by the way, if anybody was there. What's the pink stuff that they throw on the barf to clean it up? It was a mixture of barf and the pink stuff. It was great. That was our introduction to Lombard, Illinois. I'll never remember that. So anyway, they brought us into this room, and like I said, it's been 20 years since I've been to a Carlson. And we were talking about it. I think the one that I went to, there was about 350 to 400 people there, and they ushered us into the back of this room filled with SigEps, and it was 825-ish, something like that. It blew me away. It was truly amazing. They were wrapping up another successful Carlson, and we sat back there and waited through the whole banquet and everything else. Until they read Mike's bio off. And again, he didn't know he was getting recognized at all up until that point. So they read off Mike's info and had him come up on stage. So the four of us that had been sitting in Carl, they were very eager to not be sitting anymore. So we take off and meander our way all the way up to the front so that we could surprise him, because he didn't know we were there either. So we showed up at the front of the stage when he came off the stage with his award. It was pretty sweet. We just wanted to make sure that he knew how much he meant to us and how much he meant to this organization. So we finished off the night with a few drinks and a couple hours of conversation and some amazing Chicago pizza. And thank God people deliver at like 1 a.m. But then we hopped back in the car and headed home on Sunday morning. So if you're ever intended to visit Chicago, I recommend it. It's a beautiful place. But if you do, I recommend spending more than 14 hours there. So with that, I will call up our keynote speaker here because oh, sit down. I'm not done yet. Wait. I got another page. I'll call him up here by reading the keynote or the address that they gave when they presented the award. Again, this was put together by all the nominating letters that we wrote. So here's what they had to say. You've been the backbone of your chapter for more than 2 decades. You helped launch the ABC many years ago, advocating for alumni involvement, and served in several capacities. You've seen it all as a volunteer, shepherding undergraduates through good times and bad, from long ago when manpower and grades almost led to the chapter's closure, to the past 3 years that have seen the chapter win back-to-back Buchanan Cups. After you made sure the undergraduates were on the right path, you focused your attention on leading the chapter's fundraising efforts. Because of that work, the Balance Band Scholarship and Novotny Memorial Scholarship were fully endowed. Then you moved on to the goal the chapter has always dreamed of, building its own house. Because of your efforts, the chapter has hit its fundraising goal of $400,000 and is well on its way to its stretch goal of $650,000. The chapter will soon have a brand new facility, a high-quality living, learning environment, and it is largely thanks to your efforts. And not only have you been generous with your time, but also your treasure, giving a lot of your own money for the chapter's new home. You've been a dedicated SigEp literally since day one. When SigEp came to campus in the early 90s, you were among the founding members. You became the chapter's first president and went on to give your time without interruption ever since. You've been the continuity and the heartbeat of the chapter, and in those 20 years, you've seen your chapter grow into a powerhouse. For your dedication, we are honored to recognize you, Mr. Hart, from South Dakota Alpha at South Dakota State University with the Distinguished Alumnus Award. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce my friend, my brother, and the newly awarded Distinguished Alumnus, Michael Hart.
This will not be an hour, that I can assure you. But I do want to thank you. It's an honor to be able to give some closing remarks. A lot of this has been talked about, but some of it just deserves getting talked about twice. This last year, since our last meeting at Founders Day, has been a real turning point for our chapter. Let's talk about Conclave. I mean, you've already heard about it down in Houston, Texas. I'm glad you talked about it, Luke, because one of the things I wanted to highlight was our meeting with the SigEp National Housing presentation, and it was a team effort. I know that, I buried myself in my room for a while to put that presentation together, but it was an honor to sit around the table with these guys. And at the end of it, there was one other comment that I can't remember if it was Ken Maddox or someone else said, but they just looked at us and they said, boy, if everyone did it like you guys, then we wouldn't even need to exist. So that was a humbling moment and a really proud moment for South Dakota Alpha. And of course, a second consecutive Buck Cup, which deserves a round of applause. Fast forward a little bit. Now we're at Carlson here, just last week. And if you haven't been, I highly encourage you to go to both these events. They're just incredible. Our Volunteer of the Year, Nathan Bylander, ABC Operational Excellence, Troy Lambert and the ABC team, the Zollinger Outstanding Senior, Alec Bomer, and how about his ability behind the microphone? How about a round of applause? I love it. And we even got one distinguished alumnus out of the deal, so that was pretty special. Also, I've joined 2 other South Dakota alumni on the National Board of Governors. Luke Cardona and Troy Lambert. We didn't talk about that. Matt Beck's also a member of that, but the National Board of Governors is anyone who gives to the national fraternity more than $1,200 annually. So I want to thank Luke and Troy for stepping up that way, and it's an honor to serve alongside them. How about a round of applause for Luke? So South Dakota Alpha is growing its national network. It's really making a meaningful impact. And we're really not even close to being done. There's just so much to do. This week, I hit a pretty important milestone. It was my birthday this last Wednesday. Yeah. 46 years young, never been kissed. Right, Jen? And then also, this is our 23rd Founders Day, so 46, 23. As of today, I will have been a brother of South Dakota Alpha more days than I wasn't in my life. And this last year, I do have to admit, was my favorite year yet. And so for those of you as undergrads who are thinking about, okay, I'm going to make this transition, I want you to get involved. I want you to keep walking this journey of brotherhood because it gets better and better and better. It just keeps crescendoing. It's been so great. Every year was probably going to be the best one, but this last one was really special. And as I reflected on the successes, it also caused me to just consider, why did I do it? Well, largely due to Jim Novotny just peer pressuring me into being a part of it. But beyond that, why did I do it? And more importantly, why should a young man become a SigEp at SDSU today? We've been talking a lot about building our membership. Well, I remember when we first colonized and I was meeting with friends and encouraging them to join, I would always get something like this. We're already friends. Why would I spend money to hang out with you? Maybe you've even heard that. We're already friends. Why would I spend money to hang out with you? And I'd give them the dirt face, kind of derb, like I didn't know exactly how to answer it. I was really green. SigEp didn't have a lot of history here, and so it was really hard for me to knock out that objection. But now, I know exactly why someone should be a member of SigEp at SDSU. It's not that you're buying friends or that you're spending money to hang out with people. It is truly an investment in yourself. You get access to the Balanced Man Project. So you invest a little bit of money and you get access to this incredible project that has been refined since the 1970s. It's a program that's founded on 5 philosophical tenets. Equal rights and responsibilities. That means there's full membership upon joining. You're immediately part of the leadership. Continuous development, growing throughout life, obviously. Many of us keep coming back year after year after year. We want to try to improve. And you want your brothers around you to create that kind of accountability, which is the next one, accountability. Committing to SigEp's high standards. As an undergrad, maybe that's academically, but as we're getting older and we're trying to push to the next level, you want people around you who are going to help you achieve those goals. Living the ritual, incorporating SigEp's values of virtue, diligence, and brotherly love into everyday life. And then mentoring. As a young person, getting a mentor, but then as you get older, you get to be the mentor, and you get to pay it forward. And it takes the form, those 5 areas, those 5 philosophical tenets, it takes the form of 4 self-paced challenges. And not everyone in this room knows, because not everyone's a SigEp member, but I think you should know that there's a Sigma, Phi, Epsilon, and Brother Mentor challenge that every member works through. In Sigma, adjusting and acclimating to chapter and campus and community. In Phi, growing and developing as a balanced man. In Epsilon, leading and serving as a balanced man. And then as Brother Mentor, preparing yourself and your chapter for the future. And within each of those, there's 5 areas of development. SigEp, knowledge and understanding the fraternity. Intellectual, academic performance, and emotional and cultural growth. You've seen by the brothers awarded tonight that there's just a tremendous amount happening in this space. Physical health and wellness, maintaining a healthy quality of life. leadership, growth and experience as a leader, and then professional, preparing for career success. I asked Brother Bylander if he would just send over the curriculum of what South Dakota Alpha does, and I see things in there about understanding Brookings, understanding SDSU, but even getting down into how do you prepare it? How do you prepare your taxes? How do you prepare to buy a home in the future? I mean, they're digging into real life stuff here, and they're making it applicable to our chapter, and I just love seeing that. That alone is worth the investment. So why should someone become a member? That. But there's more than that, because there's the ritual. Sigma, Phi, and Epsilon, Brother Mentor, Burning Heart, Hoop of Steel, rich programming and social events, South Dakota Alpha's Founders Day, which, by the way, not many chapters have. This is unique to us to meet like this every year. Not many do it. If any, I think we might be the only one. Access to mentors, professional connections through our alumni. I was listening to Kyle Dvorak earlier today talk about how he's helping to coordinate a healthcare professionals panel where a bunch of existing healthcare professionals are coming in to talk to not only our members but also our potential members, our recruits, about having careers in healthcare. And I'm like, they're getting access to all of this. Philanthropy, the work we do with sexual assault awareness, or nationally with Big Brother, Big Sister, academic accountability, personal accountability. You're investing in that. But then also, and you've heard a lot about it, and for years we didn't talk much about it at South Dakota Alpha, and that is what you get access to at the national level. The Carlson Leadership Academy. And I want to hit a couple high points here. The Carlson Leadership Academy provides interactive leadership training to over 2,000 undergraduates and volunteers annually. By the way, there's 5 of them across the country. Chicago, 800 are there. So that means 1,200 at the other 4, just to give you a sense of how engaged SigEps are in the upper Midwest. Many undergraduates run for executive board positions because they have great goals and vision for their chapter. Attending an academy ensures an officer will have the skills to manage a committee and work through on those goals. So how about a round of applause for our undergraduate execs who are just out of truly committed to making it better all the time. We talked about having 3 guys go through RUC, the RUC Leadership Institute. The Frank J. RUC Leadership Institute equips students to lead culture change that extends beyond their chapter and campus and into their community. Executive level alumni mentors guide attendees on how to engage in difficult and meaningful conversations, a skill they can't develop on their campuses often. Scholars are selected through a competitive application process, and they lead with an awareness of their own leadership styles and build a better vision for the future. And we had 3 of them. How about a round of applause again for those guys? Another national program is Life After College. Life After College engages industry-leading professionals to prepare undergraduates for future careers. Going beyond a typical campus career center, brothers receive crucial skills training and understanding on how to translate their SigEp involvement to their professional world. I don't know if have we had anyone attend that yet? We have? Nathan's giving me the big head nod, so we can keep leaning into that one. Also, the Tragos Quest Degrees is named for and made possible by a generous gift from past Grand President William G. Tragos and his wife Lily. It changes the way brothers view the world, their fraternity, and themselves. Guided by alumni mentors and university faculty, Tragos Quest Degree scholars study the influence that Greek philosophy, governance, and the arts has and continues to have in everyday life. Brothers explore Greek culture and contemplate the origins of SigEp's values and the balanced man ideal. Now, I don't think we've had one of these yet, but we need to keep gunning for it. It's an eventuality, I believe it. And then finally, Conclave. You've heard a ton about it, but it was an incredible experience. I have to tell you that when I went to Houston, I had a picture in my head. I was like, oh boy, I don't know if I'm going to like this a whole lot. I know I'm going to like hanging out with my boys, but I'm not sure if I'm going to like going to this and what it's going to be like. I was totally wrong. It was so inclusive, so progressive. The information that we learned in all of the breakouts was meaningful and applicable to our chapter, and it was a wonderful experience. And so as we consider Denver here in another year, we have to show up in force. We just have to be there. So again, saving that date, July 28th, August 1st, 2021 in Denver. We're going to be there. And you get to meet some fascinating people. Just one quick side note here. We were having an alumni reception, and so I'm downstairs and I'm talking to this guy. He was from Sam Houston State. He had graduated back in the 70s. And we were talking about our mutual hatred for North Dakota State University. because they always come down there, obviously. And, yes, yeah, that is clap worthy. And so we're kind of going on, and I was like, so what's your name? He's like, oh, my name's Charlie Amato. And I was like, so what do you do? Well, I work at SWPC and financials, but I'm one of the owners of the San Antonio Spurs. This dude is a billionaire. And he runs around with like Jerry Jones, you know, like the guy that owns the Dallas Cowboys, and he's got private helicopters, and we're just chilling out, having a beer, you know, just chit-chatting about owning the Spurs. So you get to meet some really interesting people along the way too. So with all of that I just talked about, the Balanced Man Project, what happens locally, what happens nationally, now I wish I could go back to Mike Hart as an undergrad and say, you're not paying to hang out with people. You're not buying friends. You're investing in a world-class, innovative program aimed at making better men. And it's happening. It's happening here. You're in the trenches, you're learning, you're growing, you're challenging yourself and those around you. So the friendships that got talked about, those happen because you find yourself loving something together. We're in it. We're doing it. We love this thing. And all of a sudden, the byproduct of all that hard work and working through this stuff and becoming better men is all of a sudden you find yourself best friends with the people that you're doing it with. And that doesn't end with undergraduate school, by the way. I've met a lot of friends just in the last few years that I would consider very, very close. And some that go back a long, long way, like Harstead was talking about. So anyway, with all that being said, I'm just so incredibly proud to call you all brothers. I also know that as you leave undergraduate school and you get more and more involved as an alumnus, it just gets better. So by investing in yourself and being a part of SigEp, you start to see the value of investing in others. Giving back with your time, whether it's the ABC, the Ed Foundation, being on a mentor team, giving back with your treasure, like this challenge match that Jeremy Braun was talking about. You know, it's a $50,000 match, 50,000 bucks. So for every dollar you give, it unlocks a dollar. We've only got 50,000 to go. That's 10 guys giving $5,000. I mean, let's get this done tonight. And by the way, Austin Cott was #1. He did it already. He pledged $5,000. Thank you, Austin. Appreciate that. If you're interested in getting involved with that, talk to Bron. And let me be the first to say how good it feels to give back to the organization. We want to build a better bridge long-term between the undergraduate experience and the alumni experience. But in the meantime, if you want to get involved at any level, I invite you to just talk to me tonight. Just come find me, talk to me. If I can't help you personally, I will get you connected with the person that you need to talk to, and I guarantee you're going to love it. But if I go back to the beginning, I said there's still work to do. We're not done. For years, South Dakota Alpha flew beneath the national radar, quietly, diligently improving. You know, in nearly our 20th years as a chapter, 2017, we received Buck Cup #1. Buck Cup #2 rolls around in 2019, and now people are like, wait a minute, are you seeing what this chapter is doing? Headquarters actually is now connecting volunteers from other chapters to us, saying, hey, you ought to talk to these guys. This happened after Conclave, where they connected us with some volunteers from you and I. We're like, hey, you need to talk to what the ABC and the Ed Foundation's doing at South Dakota Alpha if you want to be successful at your chapter. So they're noticing it, and they're pointing people our way. CLA rolls around. Well, now at the national level, well, clearly this isn't a fluke. These guys are legit. There was one alumnus, Tom Barton, the Duke of Dubuque. Am I saying that right? He is an incredibly passionate and well-known alumnus in the national ranks. And he said at the Board of Governors reception, South Dakota Alpha is my favorite new chapter. And he was just super pumped up about what's happening here. We also had a couple of the National Board of Directors mention their interest in coming to our Founders Day 25 in a couple years, and I guarantee there'll be 1 or 2 of those people here. But let's talk about Buck Cup #3, shall we? Buck Cup #3, which I really want to see us hit on the stage at Conclave, and if you haven't put it in your phone yet, July 28th to August 1st, 2021. You need to be there. This is my challenge for us. We need to have 20 alumni and at least 10 undergrads. 20 alumni and at least 10 undergrads. That's how many people need to be there. Be cooler if it was 20 and 21, since that's the year. 20 alumni and 21 undergrads. That's the stretch goal. And I think we can do it, but here's what I think it's going to take. Undergraduate membership of 50 plus. Right now, the ABC Michael Saville as the recruitment mentor, Nathan Bylander as the chapter counselor, Devin Schaefer as chapter president, Paul Schlotman as the VP of recruitment, and a highly engaged group of undergrads are making it happen. It's the most enthusiastic, most energetic push that I've seen since the beginning of this chapter. So you should feel good about it, but you can't lay off the gas. You gotta keep pushing. So how about a big round of applause for all of those guys for their membership? 50 plus. That's what we need for a buck cup, 50 plus. So let's keep pushing. I think the second thing is we need a highly engaged alumni. I think we're already winning here, but we can do even more. We need to leverage the Balanced Mentor Challenge. We need to prepare our undergraduates for the transition into being an alumnus. I think we can do more there. I think we need to leverage the Philip A. Cox Volunteer Institute, where SigEp's newest volunteers do weekend-long training at Carlson, to get them kind of spun up and to give them sort of a jump start into being a really engaged and vibrant volunteer. I think that volunteer training at Conclave is really, really big, as well as I think we need to develop our own proprietary onboarding program as people graduate and how we get them plugged into these different organizations, the ABC, the Ed Foundation, our mentoring team. There's a lot to do, and we can do a whole lot more. In fact, one other side note from CLA, I was in the elevator and there was a young man, he was a volunteer, he was from Wisconsin, I can't remember what school, but he's like, hey, are you from South Dakota Alpha? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I can't believe, I heard that you guys actually sometimes have a runoff for your ABC positions, which by the way, we had one of those today at our meeting. He's like, I can't believe that. That doesn't happen anywhere. And and I think that's how they look at South Dakota Alpha. We have this highly engaged group of people that want to participate, and it extends past undergraduate school. And so we just want to emphasize that and do more of it. And I think the third one, and this is the big one, we need to become a SigEp learning community. And I know the ABC's working on this. College students spend nearly 90% of their time outside the classroom. Many of the life lessons and skills that an undergraduate should develop during his college years must be learned during this vast amount of largely unstructured time. These lessons include, and I'm sure that undergrads, you can relate to some of these, communication skills, conflict management, decision making, relationship building, organizational skills, project management, stress management, tolerance, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and so on. Also, for the 10% of time that is in the classroom, we need to support and encourage a high level of academic success, too. Where better to do this than in our very own chapter facility? We need to fulfill our challenge match. We need to find guys that will help us get that last $50,000. But let me make this official. Due to the hard work and contributions of many, we are breaking ground on South Dakota Alpha's chapter house on or around April 20th of this year. Yeah, lots to celebrate. Construction will be completed between Thanksgiving and Christmas of this year. We'll be working with Clark Drude Construction. In fact, where's Red? Where's Red at? Red, where are you? You gotta be in here somewhere. There he is. Red's gonna be interning with Clark Drude. Red's gonna make sure that it stays on time. Right, Red? 20 of our SigEp men will be living and learning in our house starting spring semester of 2021. This will likely earn us a Cornerstone Award at Conclave in Denver. One more reason why you should all be there to experience that, and it'll move us one step closer to that buck cup. But again, becoming a SigEp learning community, a group of highly engaged alumni, and membership of 50 plus. Lots of work to do. A couple of years ago, I was talking on behalf of the Educational Foundation, and I shared this quote, and I'm going to share it again. Society grows great when people plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. It was an anonymous Greek proverb. I love the quote. I love what it says about selflessly giving back. But you know what else? I'm going to sit and soak in the shade of that house. It's going to be real good. It takes so much time to do all of this work. I just can't thank all of the brothers that contribute so liberally of their time and their talents. This last week was really, really, really humbling. I had no idea that I was going to get called a distinguished alumnus. I had no idea these were, and this has been a year in the making. This got talked about at Founders Day with Matt Beck and Luke Cardona a year ago. I was just truly humbled, so it means a great deal, and I appreciate all the compliments, but much like Nate Bylander put on Facebook after he won his award, I totally agree that it is a team effort. So I appreciate the distinction, but we're all in it together, and we just need to keep working really hard to make South Dakota Alpha sort of the model for what SigEp should look like. Also, and I know we thanked them earlier, but for us to be able to do it, to take all this time, to spend this money, to do these things, we need to have a great teammate. And so I really want to start out by thanking my beautiful wife, Jen. Thank you, Jen. How about a round of applause for Jen? And on behalf of the other guys that are slugging it out on the Educational Foundation, a very special thank you to Andrea Harstead and Courtney Ehlers and Karen Braun and Stacy Howard, Casey Aldrin and Aaron Saturnus. We just don't say thank you enough. So thank you for giving of your time and talent too. And for all of our significant others and spouses, we got a lot to do. We got a lot to do. So let's work on the membership, 50 plus, highly engaged alumni, and let's build this house. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We're going to finish this night off with a couple songs, but I think it only makes sense to bring back Brother Alec Bomer to the stage and send us off. Only he can do this.
Okay, so I've been briefed on what I'm supposed to speak about, so that's actually really positive. I'm not going to say I've got 30 seconds. Okay, so we're going to do several solitary claps in a row. So we're going to do one solitary clap for all the undergraduates who are able to come out here tonight. You all are so amazing, and you are the reason that you make this chapter so great. So we're going to do one solitary clap for the undergraduates right now. One solitary clap at 3, 2, 1. That was really good. We are almost all in unison. We're going to do one solitary clap for all the alumni who are out here. You set the shoes to fill. You are the reason that this chapter exists and continues to grow. You are the reason that this house exists. It's not a picture of the house, it's just the name of Luke Cardona. So he's good too, but we can't live in him. As much as we want to, we can't live in him. So we're going to give one solitary clap to all the wonderful alumni who donated so much of their time and talents to, hey, I'm not done yet. Settle down, it's all right. So much of their time and talent to the SD Alpha chapter. So we're going to do one solitary clap at 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much. That was really, really good. Thank you so much to all the partners who are out tonight. As I said before, I'm so sorry you got dragged to this, but I'm so happy you're here. You're all so wonderful. So thank you so much for your time and talents. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. That was actually really good in unison. That was really, really good. On top of that, for the undergraduates, we got to build our house is coming, so we got to recruit. For the alumni, thank you so much for your support. Continue to support us as we build our house. I think that's my 30 seconds, at least more than that. Cole is offering snaps, but I'm going to do one more solitary clap in favor of Luke Cardona, who made this whole event possible. So 3, 2, 1. All right, that's it. That's my time. Bring everybody up to sing. Come on up. We're doing a little song.
Someone's gonna carry this.
It's on.
Epsilon will keep on singing, SigEp, so we sing, rum, the footsteps coming, beat like the sound of drumming, beat for the voices humming, SigEp, so we march the road together, and we will sing forever, this bond will never sever, SigEp, so we mighty will always be a brotherhood of unity. Glory to the golden heart of our fraternity. Rum, Sigma, hearts are singing. By through the air goes ringing. Epsilon will keep on singing. SigEp, so we sing.